Hello, grade 2. Um, this week we'll be talking about personal narratives. We took personal narratives last year in grade 1. We said when we read the story about Pig, and that Pig went to a shop where he bought a toy dinosaur named Rex, and he put it in a box so he can give it so she can give it to her friend. Okay, and we said that a personal narrative is when a person writes a story or writes about himself or herself. What does the person write about himself? He or she writes about what she did, what she saw, and how she felt while she was doing it. Okay, so last year in grade 1, I asked you guys to write about a sport that you guys like to do or play, and who you like to do it with, and how you felt. Okay, so again, if you we again this year we'll be talking about personal narrative, but we will be adding more features to our personal narrative. Okay, so again, a personal narrative is a story about you. So the person is writing about himself or yourself. So if I ask you to write a personal narrative, you'll be writing about you. When you write a personal narrative, you tell about what you did and how you felt. Okay? So when you write about a personal narrative, you'll be writing about yourself. You'll be writing about something that you did, and how did you feel when you were doing it. Here we have 2 examples, and we'll be reading about what the writers wrote. Learning from writers. Read these personal narratives. Notice how the author begin and end their stories. The relatives came. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came. They came up from Virginia. They left when their grapes were nearly purple enough to pick, but not quite. The relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. They helped us tend the garden and fixed any broken things they could find. They ate up all our strawberries and melons, then promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia, but none of us thought about Virginia much. We were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. Cynthia Ryland from the relatives came. Okay, so here, this person, her name is Cynthia, she wrote, this is her personal narrative. Okay, remember the personal narrative here is like a paragraph, a short story about her and her family. Okay, remember, a paragraph is a group of sentences that talk or tell about one idea. So this personal narrative or paragraph is about when relatives came. Relatives are people that are from your family. They can be your cousins, your aunts. Okay, so when did her relatives come? They came in summer. They came up from Virginia. They came from a state in America called Virginia. They left their home when their grapes were nearly purple. So her relatives or her family members came from Virginia when the grapes were almost purple. Okay, the relatives stayed for weeks and weeks. So her people from her family stayed with them for 4 weeks, more than 1 week. What did they do? What did her relatives do? They helped them tend the garden. They helped them take care of their garden, and they would fix anything that is broken. Okay, they ate up all our strawberries and melons. So her relatives ate the strawberries that they had in their garden and their melons. Okay, melon is a kind of fruit, and they promised we could eat up all their grapes and peaches when we came to Virginia. So her relatives ate all the strawberries and all the melons from her garden, and she said, and her relatives said, you can eat our grapes and peaches when you come to visit us. But they didn't talk much about them going to visit Virginia. What were they busy doing? It says we were so busy hugging and eating and breathing together. They spent their time hugging and eating and breathing together. It means they were breathing and doing things together. Okay, and then she wrote her name from the relatives came. So the relatives came is like the title of her personal narrative. Remember that the first sentence of a paragraph must be indented. What does the word indented mean? It means the first sentence is moved a little bit inside. Okay, is moved a little bit inside. If you look at the first sentence and the second sentence, the first sentence is indented or moved a little bit inside. So here, in a personal narrative, okay, the person is talking about herself, her family. She talked about what she did and what she saw and how she felt. Also, in a personal narrative, you must start with an interesting sentence. So when the person reads what you wrote, the person would want to read and be interested. And also, the paragraph must have a good ending. Okay, let's read the second personal narrative. It says the skunk family. A skunk is an animal that is black and has a white stripe on his back. Okay, let's see. Once there was a skunk family that lived near my house. At first, I thought they were cute, but one night as we were driving home, a skunk ran in front of our car. A few nights later, my dad, my dog Jerome, and I were taking a walk. I saw a skunk. It sprayed Jerome. The smell was so bad that it made my eyes and nose burn. The next night, the skunk sprayed Jerome again. Now I know that the skunk family isn't cute at all. Chris Barnes. Okay, so this personal narrative is about the skunk family. Okay, that this boy, his name, he signed his name at the bottom. His name is Chris Barnes. Okay, what is this boy telling us? What did he see? He saw a family of skunks. As I said, a skunk is it's an animal, a furry animal that is all black and has a white stripe on its back. So this boy said that there was a skunk family that lived near his house. In the beginning, he thought that skunks are so cute. But one night they were driving home and a skunk ran in front of their car. After a few nights, this boy, Chris, and his dad and their dog, Jerome, were taking a walk. While they were taking their dog for a walk, they saw a skunk. What did the skunk do? The skunk sprayed. The skunk is an animal that when it feels like it's in danger, it makes a very bad smell. So he sprayed this bad smell onto the dog. The boy said the smell was so bad that it burned his nose and his eyes. The next night, the skunk did the same thing. It sprayed a very bad smell at his dog Jerome again. Now the boy doesn't think that skunks are cute. Okay, so he's telling us about what happened to him and what when he first saw a skunk and later on how did he feel. Okay, again, he wrote the boy wrote his story or his personal narrative in like 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph, okay, the first sentence of each paragraph is indented. He started the story with an interesting beginning. Okay? How do you know this is a personal narrative? He used some words to show us that he's talking about himself. Like what? He used the word I. He used the word my. Okay? Words like my means something that belongs to him. If I say this is my bag, that means this bag belongs to me. So my is a word that shows that this belongs to me. We use the word I or pronoun I when you're talking about yourself. This also shows that this is a personal narrative. And he's telling us about what he saw, the skunk that lives near his house, and when he was passing by the car, that he saw the skunk pass again. And when the skunk sprayed his dog, how did he feel? He felt that the smell was so bad and it hurt his eyes and his nose. Okay? Now he feels that the skunk is not cute anymore. Okay? So again, a personal narrative is like a story or a writing when the person is writing about himself. He writes about what he sees and what he did and how he felt. Okay? In a personal narrative, he writes it in a paragraph. Okay? The first sentence of a paragraph must be indented. Okay, what else? The paragraph should have an interesting beginning and a good ending. All right? Okay. Here, if we go to this page, it says features of a personal narrative. Because for our writing project, we'll be writing a personal narrative, we need to know what are the features or the parts that we should have when we write a personal narrative. Okay? Again, a personal narrative tells about something that happened to you. A good personal narrative does these things. It tells a story from a personal experience, something that happened to you, to that person. It has a good beginning. It has a good ending. What else? It uses time order words. What are time order words? Time order words are words that show when things happen in order. Like what? Like first, right? First, next, then, second, at last, finally, yesterday. All these are words that show us when things happen and in what order. Okay? Okay, you can read like personal experience. Personal experience is something that happened to that person. Okay? Words that you'll find such as I, my, our, we, has a good beginning as we mentioned. Has a good ending, has time order words. Okay, in this book on this page, you also find a person, this girl who chooses a topic. She will write about her picnic. She wrote a few things that she did on that day from the beginning of the day. Okay, they are not incomplete sentences, right? But what did she do? She organized. She put the things that she did on that day she had her picnic in a sequence chart. What did she do first? What did she do next? What did she do until the end? All right? Okay, is she gonna leave it like this? No, she has to write it in a paragraph. So, after she organized the things that she did on that day for her picnic, she starts writing her paragraph, her story. Okay? You can use a dictionary. Remember, a dictionary is a book that tells you the meaning of words. Okay? So, and does she write the paragraph only? She does a draft. A draft is when you start writing your paragraph and then you fix your mistakes, you put your end marks, whether it's a period or exclamation, and in the end you give your personal narrative a title, and then you write and then you write your name, and then you write your personal narrative, and you can add a drawing to show everyone so you can read to the class. Okay, we will also be doing a personal narrative for our project, and I will give it to you soon.